Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the John and Ant Show. I'm John.
This is Ant.
And special guest once again, back with us, Rob.
What's up?
And, a little breaking news happened yesterday. They gave out the possible top matches for WrestleMania 29. And one is Rock versus Cena 2. Your guys' opinions on that?
Well, I do find it funny that this is coming after them continuously having the tagline
Once in a lifetime.
Once in a lifetime match, Cena versus Rock. And not only does it happen again, it's going to happen the very next WrestleMania. That's why I feel like it might not... These match possibilities might be premature, but if that in fact is the case, you know the title's going to be up for grabs.
Rob?
A lot of people just don't like it because of the once-in-a-lifetime tag, but could the match really be worse than the first one?
Well, now it looks like the title is going to be on the line. So does this make it better than the first one already?
I think one of the things that makes it better already is the fact that it didn't have a year's worth of hype.
Okay.
I do think that the first one may have been a bit of a letdown because you had just all year commercials and promos for Cena versus Rock, and you know it was coming. You don't need to announce it every freaking commercial break, but they did, especially leading up to WrestleMania. You'd have like a 20-minute segment talking about Cena versus Rock. You'd have via satellite promos and all recordings,
DVDs.
songs, DVD. Oh my gosh, the DVDs, really, was that necessary? But the DVD, just for the feud.
Just for the feud.
Just for the feud.
DVD. 45 minutes long, and it's actually pretty good.
Was it
pretty good DVD?
I don't know.
For a whole year, they can only manage 45 minutes?
45 minutes. And it was actually pretty
good.
good.
That's not that good, though.
Rob?
I didn't care for the match the first time because Cena didn't have the title. Maybe if he did have the title, it would be interesting, but the build-up was cool in a way, but they dropped it. They dropped any steam they had immediately.
Obviously, Rock's going to carry the title into WrestleMania.
Is that obvious?
It's way obvious. Come on.
It's not that obvious. There's the Elimination Chamber.
That's true.
Between Rumble and then.
It's possible, yeah.
But it's possible that he gets the title. Now, do you see The Rock winning the second time, or Cena obviously winning this one?
Cena's got to win this one, I guess. I mean, it's got to separate itself from the first one. If anything, it's got to use the first one to its advantage and make that into a talking point as well. It's obviously going to be a big rematch. But, again, it needs that extra push, and that's what I think the title will be for. It has to involve the title. I mean,
I think so.
I'm not saying I don't want Punk as champion. He's been a great champion. But I think if you're going to have another Rock Cena match, you have to have something that makes it just as big, if not bigger, than the first match.
Okay.
Not saying it was a great match, but it did have a sense of, this is supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing, but
now
it might not
twice in 1 year now.
Yeah, it might not end up being that,
Rob?
I don't know. I don't care all that much because if the title's on the line, I don't like Cena, but I'd rather somebody that's going to be with the company and is with the company have the title. I don't want somebody outside having it. There's no point.
Well, it makes more. If that's the case, it does make more sense that Punk retain at WrestleMania then.
Yes,
because he would retain. I'm sorry, at Royal Rumble.
Okay.
He retains at Royal Rumble. I guess he can lose it to The Rock in the Elimination Chamber, or Cena for that matter.
All right.
Have some sort of rematch. I guess the Raw before WrestleMania, and then. Well, no, that wouldn't work either, though.
It leads to a good set.
Could you have The Rock losing any matches before potentially wrestling at Mania?
I see that. Well, I could see him losing at the Rumble.
The Rumble's easy. You could have a disqualification and count out whatever. But Elimination Chamber...
Anything can happen.
You can't really have that, except for what happened with Jericho last year, which was ridiculous. That's never happened before. I don't think it should ever happen again.
Right.
So how would The Rock lose in that match?
Oh, I don't think he would. I think if Rock is involved in the Elimination Chamber match...
I see him coming out victorious.
I see him winning.
That's how I see it. But it was a good thing you brought up Punk, because now the other rumor is, it's a possibility, CM Punk versus The Undertaker.
Yeah, and the first thing I thought when I heard those first two possible matches, Rock Cena, Punk Undertaker, my first thought was, which one would involve the WWE title. But then it got me to thinking, you're not going to have Rock Cena again without the title, so obviously this would be a best in the world versus streak type
But
thing.
this is where it would be a good idea to keep the title on Punk because you have respect.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, as a title, respect versus the streak, and try to get an Undertaker's respect. So, I think it would be a good idea to keep the title on Punk if they're going that way, and he's going to face Taker at WrestleMania 29.
Well, here's another possibility that could happen. It is possible that Punk retain the title until WrestleMania. Let me give you maybe a certain scenario, okay? Let's say Punk retains via some sort of, interference at the Royal Rumble, okay?
All right.
Then you have the Elimination Chamber. Punk goes in. Cena eliminates The Rock. Punk retains the championship, but now, Rock might, I don't know, Cena, he could rub The Rock the wrong way, might want to, avenge his thing against Cena. But then again, I don't think that works because, again, it'll just be another Rock versus Cena match. It's not like Rock versus Stone Cold where people actually wanted to see a rematch. This is a match that was they made it a big point saying this was going to happen once.
Now, is there any possible way you can put the World Heavyweight title on The Rock?
No. He's on Raw.
He's on Raw.
He's going to make the appearance on SmackDown, but...
And they want to use the Prime title. They don't want to use the second string.
Rob, your take?
Another interesting thing, or possibility is Rock, Cena, second time, Cena wins, they'd have to do a third match.
It would have to be. I agree on that.
They both have one win.
So this just turns into a series then.
A yearly series, unless they would take care of the last one at SummerSlam or something. I don't know.
They could wait another year for another WrestleMania.
But your take on Punk and Taker?
It'd be interesting, but I don't necessarily, just because you can read something on the internet doesn't mean it's true, but I don't want Undertaker to wrestle again.
I can understand why. It would be
an interesting storyline. Like, respect, you have to respect the Undertaker. But he can't really walk anymore.
Yeah, well, it takes him a year to recover from his matches now.
From one match.
Yeah, so that's not a knock against the Undertaker. I mean, when he does do a WrestleMania match, he leaves it all out there.
He does.
And I don't know, the guy he's something else. But yeah, it does take him a year to, I guess, get back into shape and be able to pull off that type of match. The match itself would be good. I am kind of wondering what the promos between the two would be like. Taker doesn't talk much. CM Punk just never shuts up.
Well, that's his...
But that could work, though.
It could work.
It could work.
You just have Punk going on about respect, and then coming to the realization that he has to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
I think the
curious.
promos would
I'm
work.
curious
I think
to
they'd be great promos.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they would make that work because thus far, the main feuds that come up in my mind right now are The Rock and Cena, where just both of them kept throwing out these cheesy lines. Then you had that's all it was. It was just so cheesy. Then you had the Punk Cena. Those promos were all right. And the Undertaker Punk would bring something different to the table. I would like to see that.
It would. The next possible, which I think it's gonna happen. Lesnar and Triple H.
Yeah.
Round 2.
I mean, yeah, we talked about that, and I definitely think it's been a shoo-in since Triple H lost. Triple H doesn't go down like that for no reason. He doesn't lose for no reason. He's gonna go out there and have vengeance or whatever. I don't know.
But it could also be that he sort of retired, fair quotes, after that match.
Yeah, he did say.
Even though the crowd
he was done.
The crowd wasn't behind it.
Right.
Necessarily while he was saying that it was over. Well, actually, at the end of the pay-per-view, they were with him when he was crying. I think on the next Raw.
Would you want to see this match again?
No. I think it's fine the way if you're gonna take Triple H out of competitive wrestling. But with that story, it works.
A lot of people are saying that he should, his last match should be at WrestleMania 29, and not at a What was the
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam?
I could see that.
I haven't been.
I mean, that's where a lot of superstars retire, like Ric Flair. Shawn Michaels.
But he didn't really retire.
Yeah, we know. Well, we
Shawn
know
Michaels
that.
did.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels actually stayed true to his word. Ric
Yeah,
Flair.
he still is. I'm very impressed with Shawn Michaels right now, who hasn't come back from retirement. So good for you, Mr. HBK. But yeah, Ric Flair. That's another whole story. But it would be nice to see Triple H go. If it's his last match, make it at WrestleMania 29.
Yeah, but against Brock Lesnar, who's not
Why?
with the company.
No, that's understandable.
This is his one-off matches.
But at the same time, it's a rematch, and figuring Triple H wants his revenge on Brock, the way what happened at SummerSlam, it's a good lead into WrestleMania 29. That's just my opinion, but
if we're gonna, I don't really care for Triple H. He puts on entertaining matches. Yeah, entertaining match against Brock Lesnar, sure, but he also squashes guys that don't deserve it when they run in to make a save.
See, we know what you're talking about, but you might have to explain exactly.
Yeah, please explain this, Rob.
I don't remember exactly who he was feuding against, but was it 2005?
It might have been the
2005,
Spirit
6?
Squad. I don't remember.
I think it was.
No.
I don't remember who it was, but
Right.
I don't even remember what their names were. I mean, I remember their names, but their tag names, some rednecks or something like that.
Okay.
Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch go out and start beating him.
Beating on Triple H.
Beating on Triple H.
Okay.
Their heels, he's face. Okay. They were, I guess, also feuding with the Hooligans, Paul London and Brian Kedrick, who were face. They run in to make the save, clear the ring, everything's great. All the good guys are in the ring. They're getting ready to celebrate. What does Triple H do?
And then I believe it was Paul London reaching for a handshake.
Yeah. And then
Triple H. So it seems
which makes sense. They're all good guys. They made the save.
Of course.
What's he do? He pedigrees them.
Yep.
Both of them, no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, they were kind of doomed from the start. Moving them over to Raw, they were pretty dominant over on SmackDown.
And they got a good pop when they ran out to save Triple H too.
But then, for no reason, he pedigrees both of them.
And now I know your hatred for Triple H now.
I don't like him. After there was no there
was no reason.
If it was somebody else, I mean, if it was another tag team, maybe because I liked them, or if it were Kane, who could be a face or a heel, or there was some alternate reason, like maybe he had a beef with them beforehand. But I'm pretty sure on screen that was the first time they were ever in a ring together.
I think it was. Yeah.
There was no reason for it.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
And that's it. That was the last straw for me and Triple H. That was that. I don't care.
Obviously, I'm not a fan of the last match they put on this list. Randy Orton versus Sheamus.
Okay.
I mean, you could see it a couple weeks ago when they were both talking about facing Big Show for the title, and they were both face and they were both on a team together. They didn't mesh well, and I thought maybe they would feud, but they're both WWE. They're both faces. Mm-hmm. For the most part, it never happens unless you're Triple H.
Obviously, one of them's turning heel though. As we keep reading Orton's.
Is that necessarily
would you have to
the
turn
case?
someone heel? I mean, because wouldn't you figure Orton's heel already?
Orton's heel, but he gets over like Kane.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's a bad guy. He does bad stuff, but the crowd loves it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would he necessarily be a heel? Like you could see, he's a bad guy, which would make him a heel. But when he gets positive crowd reaction,
yeah, it would be an anti-hero versus hero.
So we definitely seeing a face versus face at WrestleMania.
I don't know. See, what I don't understand about those matches you just read to me is that Alberto Del Rio is in none of them.
I know.
And he's the current World Heavyweight Champion right now. And I wonder what's going to happen between now and WrestleMania where he's completely out of the title picture.
Which is not right, in my opinion. You just gave the guy the title.
Yeah, I mean, again, you could take these potential matches with a grain of salt, but just for them to not even include Del Rio in any of them, to me, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, because with those matches, they all have sort of a build-up.
Okay.
Del Rio right now just won the title.
All three of them have a build-up.
No real rivalries or feuds right now with Del Rio.
Right. He just
Except
has
for
the
maybe
Big Show.
Yeah.
And Big Show's gonna get a rematch before WrestleMania.
Oh,
you know that.
Of course,
much.
that rematch clause they gotta stick that in before they lose that rematch clause.
Even though sometimes it's just thrown out. You know?
Yeah. Or that.
We all remember how Zack Ryder never got his rematch clause for the U.S. title.
He's right. He never got his rematch. Which, but Zack Ryder, and what's he doing now? Tagging with Brodus Clay.
Again, it's not that we know the rematch clause isn't a legitimate thing. It's just it's a tool for a storyline.
Yeah.
But do you see this rematch happening at Royal Rumble or like the next SmackDown?
The which match?
Like a show versus Alberto Del Rio.
I gotta believe there will be another rematch. It's got to be at a pay-per-view.
It's got to be at the Rumble.
It could just be at the Rumble, yeah. He might not get it at SmackDown or on the anniversary of Raw.
But even more interesting
It doesn't
also,
make sense.
Another thing that makes me wonder is Ziggler is not in any of those matches either.
I know.
And he's got the Money in the Bank match.
Well,
So does that mean he doesn't cash it in?
That'd be nice to see. It'd be nice to see him cash in on someone at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Do what Bryan didn't do.
Yeah, you're right.
No, I know.
That way he has to main event Mania, which is what a lot of people want anyway.
Now, you know this is not going to happen. But if Ziggler were to cash in at WrestleMania, we all know that at some point, Ziggler, he's in the Royal Rumble too.
Can he win the Rumble, though?
I don't think he will.
I think he can because he's a Raw superstar.
Mm-hmm.
His briefcase is for the SmackDown title. He could essentially go up against both titles. I said in the last video, unify them.
Yeah,
definitely.
You're right. I mean, he definitely right now he's potentially the one who can unify them. He could have a potential match against both champions.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I don't know. I feel like if WWE is going to unify it, they're going to do it with their top guy. You know, John Cena can do anything. They're going to have him do it. But I do see storyline wise, Ziggler has the most potential to do it right now. As I was saying before, though, in terms with Del Rio and Ziggler not being in the picture, though, I really don't get that. That's why I can't really take these match suggestions that seriously.
Oh, no one can right now.
With the exception of CM Punk versus The Undertaker.
Yes, I can
that I would say is the most possible. All right? That I would say would be the most possible, with Triple H versus Brock Lesnar also being very possible. The Rock and John Cena again, I don't know. I just feel like they would either add a title to it, and maybe along with another...
Like a stipulation?
Yeah, something like that.
That'd be interesting.
Well, they have to. They can't just have a plain old rematch.
Well, twice in what? Well, they're gonna label it. They label it. I would label it as like twice in 1 year because, you had once in a lifetime. So, what could you label it as this year? But if there's no title,
who would have thought?
Yeah.
A second time.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, who would have thought a second time? But I mean, if it happens, it happens. I'm hoping it's better than the first one.
It has to be. It can't be any more slower. The last match was really slow. Like, even if you think it was a good match, it was a slow match. You have to admit it wasn't fast paced at any point, and I mean just The Rock. I can't get that sharpshooter he put on John Cena out of my mind. It was the worst sharpshooter.
Who performed better in that match? Cena or The Rock?
I thought Cena did, by a clear mile. I thought The Rock was still rusty at the time.
Yeah.
Even though he had a match under his belt.
He had one match that he didn't really do anything in.
Yeah, it was a tag match.
Yeah.
And I thought he was just rusty. Well, he was trying to...
He wasn't used to his new body.
Yeah, that's basically
his new big
it.
body.
I mean, he tried to do the kip up that wasn't as good.
Was that at Mania? I know he did it on Raw, and they never showed the clip again.
Because didn't he screw it up?
Yeah, he couldn't do it. It's too big.
Well, he's trying to be The Rock. We know that when he used to do a kip up, he'd do it perfectly. Now I think he's a little bulkier. I think he's a little too big. I think
he's a little bulkier.
Yeah,
he's like too bulky.
He might have
3 times
gained
the
a little
size he
mass.
was back in
I think he's a little too
Attitude
bulky, but yeah. I mean, that's WrestleMania 29 right now. But remember, it's not booked, so who knows? But yeah, the 2 matches I'd like to see happen are CM Punk and Taker, and Cena and Rock, and Triple H and Lesnar is probably going to happen too. So
Yeah.
WrestleMania is only
There better be a Money in the Bank match. I want a Money in the Bank
Well,
match.
they have the pay-per-view, though.
But I
don't
just
think
feel like...
Unless they drop the pay-per-view, I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know. I just wish they kept that in there.
And
I like that it was a yearly
Just
thing.
speaking of WrestleMania, 3 months away, man. How quickly it's coming, you know?
I guess one match that could be erased from the card is Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara.
Sin Cara, yeah. Since it's been told that there's serious heat on them too, and I guess this match will not happen since Del Rio is now the babyface of the company.
I do want to say
Hispanic
babyface of the company.
I do want to say though, with I know Sin Cara's injured, Ray's just out.
Personal reasons.
I'm gonna speak more on this later. I'm gonna allude to it. There is another masked luchador within the WWE. I'm not gonna say any names right now. You're gonna have to stay tuned. But I do have something up my sleeve.
All right.
For that, at least. Just a little comment that you could
So,
have Rey Mysterio versus this person.
It is disappointing, though, for those two to be...
It was
two,
going to happen.
2 WrestleManias in a row.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
That it was supposed to happen.
And they're going to give out masks.
They
have, like, the biggest
and I'm
mask.
upset because I wanted a Sin Cara mask.
Do you think, though, that it might be on purpose? Like maybe Sin Cara... It's like, you know what, I can use a couple injuries. I can get out of this match. Hold on. Like Evan Bourne. You think it was a mistake that he had 2 wellness violations, one right after the other? And then injured his leg?
Come on.
Then Ray leaves all the time anyway. Maybe it's just to keep that money coming in for another year. Because they know that they want to book for the match.
It's the match that wants to happen. You know, everyone wants to see the match. I'd be curious to see how the match would go.
If they've dodged that match for 2 years, do you think?
Because remember
that it's on purpose. Maybe
remember
that Ray and Sin Cara, like, you know what? If we can milk this for another year, we can keep that money. Because Ray's probably getting paid a lot. Sin Cara maybe not so much.
Remember, Sin Cara is supposed to replace Rey Mysterio.
It's true.
And I think if I was Sin Cara, I'd love to face Rey Mysterio. If I was Sin Cara, show him up.
Yeah, like instead of a passing the torch type of thing, just rip the torch out of Rey Mysterio's hands on the biggest stage where everyone sees it.
You're right. You're right.
Because a lot of people say he botches a lot.
But I'm not gonna say he does or doesn't. Much recently, you know.
But I first thought maybe it was a language barrier.
Mm-hmm. No, that is.
He doesn't speak all that much English, so it could be a little bit more difficult to communicate within the ring. But he botched against other Spanish-speaking guys.
Yeah.
I think his first match against Primo. How?
I think he had a good one with Primo on SmackDown. But again,
his first match though was on Raw, I think.
Was it? Yeah, no, you're right. You're right because his first appearance, he attacked Sheamus, and then or Jack Swagger. I don't even remember who he attacked. I think it was Sheamus.
I don't think it was Sheamus.
You don't think? I don't know. It was one or the other, but he did run out, and then he finally did have a match.
Yeah.
It was against Primo, and he botched the finisher.
Yeah, he fell off the top rope.
But in fairness to Sin Cara, it wasn't his fault, because Primo's foot slipped off the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
And Cara's the one. But what Cara's problem was, though, when he fell from the top rope to the outside, he just got right back up.
Yeah.
I mean, just sell like, oh,
yeah,
crap,
but if
you're
supposed to have just like quick squash match against Primo, you can't sell on Primo.
Okay.
The guy you're supposed to squash.
All right, I see what you're saying. So, also, I guess we're gonna do the TNA review right now.
TNA did happen last night for you TNA fans out there. I'm not one of them, but you guys saw it last night.
I did watch it, and also this is the reason why Hulk Hogan is our picture today. It's, as we like to dub it, it's the Hulk Hogan does not approve face. And this took place at the end of Impact, but I just want to go over a few things. Impact last night, as always, the match is pretty good. Pretty good. I always think, I've said this before, I do believe wrestling-wise, Impact has the WWE beat. Just because they seem to be more focused on the matches themselves, and they should be, because their storylines are... I really don't want to get into that.
They can juggle one or maybe two good storylines at a time.
Yeah. Just they try to do too much, and like I said, there was one point where TNA was the better show.
Oh, that's what I was watching.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's what I was watching.
I remember just the rivalries they had were unbelievable. AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels, and then I saw when I first looked at Samoa Joe the first time, I saw that guy looks out of shape.
Yeah.
But then I see him like suicide diving out of the ring. And I'm like, holy cow, this guy!
A lot of good serious matches.
Yes,
Styles, Daniels, and Joe.
Yeah.
All of them.
And just it had so much potential. I can't exactly pinpoint when it dropped off. I guess
think it's when
when it started to get real.
When they started, wrestling is real.
No,
wrestling matters, or
when it's real, when it got damn real.
Oh,
that's not true. He had some good matches with Joe, I believe.
Yes,
they had some good matches. So that's not
which
true.
I've seen those, and they are pretty good.
Yeah, that was when we were still watching.
Yeah. Well, back to the Impact last night. I was just no, they had a great X Division match, kind of short, but it was good. It was between Kenny King and the other guy's name, Zema Ion.
Yeah.
He had some funky hair going on. It was a really good match. And then there's one spot where Zema just dropped Kenny King on his head. He just dropped it, very dangerous. But since Kenny King
he recovered very quickly from that.
He did.
I thought, okay, this guy's down. This guy's definitely down. There's a botch somewhere. The move looked good though.
It did. It looked like it hurt definitely because it could potentially paralyze the guy, but
just knock him out.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't wrestle if you're knocked out.
Kenny King did get up. But yeah, right. Kenny King did do a good job. Well, that's not fair. Both guys did a good job.
Yeah.
That's why I do like the X Division matches. I think they bring something very new to the table. It reminds me of the old cruiserweight matches that I used to enjoy on SmackDown. I really enjoy the cruiserweight matches.
I want to interrupt you. At some point, I want to say my favorite WWE pay-per-view, like consistently every year, was No Way Out. Because they always had a big cruiserweight match. And they always, for me, stole the show.
Yeah.
Speaking of X Division, it's just a shame that they dropped that title.
And Hornswoggle's the last cruiserweight, if you want to call it last.
I don't know which part of that is worse. That he's the last champion,
I think he's the last. I think that's the worst.
The championship is just gone.
I'm sad it's gone, but I think it's also it's sad that he had it. How do you put Rey Mysterio Jr. has held this title, Dane Malenko, Ultimo Dragon.
If you look at it like that, all right. But the way it happened sort of makes sense, even though he ran in while the bell rang, so he was part of the match, disappeared, got the sneak pin at the end.
It's still silly though.
But if you're just looking at the list, I can understand.
It's silly. It's disappointing that the title had its run and ended like that.
It had a great run. I mean, some of the my gosh, you're right. The names that were on that list.
Yeah, I named
and for it to be destroyed,
4 great wrestlers that I loved back then.
Yeah.
Just sad the way to see that title go. But back to TNA.
Yeah, back to TNA. Like I said, big fan of the X Division. Love it. I think it brings some new to the table, and I think even if you're not a big TNA fan, if you watch these X Division matches, whether it be on YouTube or I guess TNA puts the clips out there, I think you will enjoy them. I mean, again, you got to keep an open mind.
Yeah, you have to get past how certain people look.
Yeah.
What certain hairstyles they might have or not have.
If you can watch the matches without even having to put up with the storylines, even better.
Yeah.
Because just the matches themselves.
That just brings in new viewers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
if your match is that good that you're watching regardless of what the story is behind it, that's really saying something.
Then we had the Jesse and Tara versus Robbie T and Miss Tessmacher.
I didn't like the match.
It was. I've
heard these great things about Tessmacher. But it was the match. I understand it was the match itself.
Yeah, those are the only spots. I think it was. Yeah. The match was mainly to further Robbie T's new gimmick, I guess. Because
Who's
before
a big guy.
He's
I haven't watched TNA in a while. I sort of only followed little bits and pieces, and was very surprised at how big this guy is.
Robbie T.
Robbie T.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, he's very big guy.
Humongous, and I wonder why he's even if they really have nothing else for him, because he didn't seem really awful in the ring for a big guy.
No, he didn't. I mean, again, I haven't seen enough of him.
Yeah.
But he is
It was a
very
sort of squash
impressive.
match,
Yeah.
so that's, I guess, unfair to judge, but he should be doing other stuff.
And Jesse looked like I've seen Jesse in the ring by himself. I mean, he's not a small guy. He's in good shape, but just next to Robbie T, it's just holy cow! What a difference.
He should have been the Hulk for Halloween. Him and Rock next to each other, 2 Hulks, one with purple pants and one with...
Yeah.
I was reading something, and was Joseph Parks having a panic attack?
Who? I'm sorry?
Joseph Parks, was he having a panic attack backstage at one point?
I don't remember that.
He was talking to himself for a bit.
Maybe that's what they were.
I didn't get I didn't see a panic attack, but I did just hear him psyching himself up, I guess. Like, I don't know. He's been wanting to talk to Hulk Hogan. He wants to be a wrestler. Went to wrestling school or whatever.
OVW, baby.
And,
OVW.
That was pretty funny when he talked to Hogan. He just wanted a chance. He wants to face someone from 8 and 8.
He did everything he asked him to.
Yeah, and then Hulk Hogan's like, I'll give you whatever you want. I'll give you whatever. Just leave me alone.
So what did he get out of it?
He has a potential match against an Aces of 8 member.
That's all he wants.
I think I know who it is, because I think they announced the matches already for Genesis, and I believe it's Devon.
Okay.
Well, I'm pretty sure Devon is the leader. Am I wrong on that? It seemed like that from the clips I've seen, but then
I don't know, because
from the backstage segment,
they're still that unmasked.
They're still
that masked guy. Yeah. There's one.
It seems like
a lot of
Devon's
people
not
are
running
wondering
it.
that who it is. It could be Eric Bischoff. Could be someone else.
Right.
But
Well, the guy is pretty big. Although they could just do a retcon and pretend he was never that big when they unmask him.
That's true.
So
Certain camera angles.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It could be.
But I guess
anybody really.
the storyline started with Abyss being missing, and his brother coming in to find him.
Yes.
And then Aces and Eights are behind Abyss's disappearance. Is that the storyline?
No one knows the storyline. It's just Abyss disappeared, and that's it.
Well, is this one of those things like when Samoa Joe...
Do we have to talk about that?
Samoa Joe was attacked by, ninjas, and he was just thrown into a van.
Comes back, never spoke about it.
Nobody ever referenced it.
No one referenced it.
Although
just
I do
nothing.
think those ninjas gave him the tattoo.
Oh,
That's how
he got the tattoos.
Face.
Okay.
Well, it was a very traumatic experience. Would you want to talk about it ever again? If it were you?
Yeah.
I mean, I would want to know, like, okay, Joe, what happened when those guys attacked you in the van?
Well, was this the nation of
I don't think it was
came
anything.
back really?
Yes, it was the nation of.
Oh yeah, okay.
Nation of Violence or something.
Nation
like
of
that.
Violence?
Yeah, it was something stupid.
So we got attacked, but then he ended up better for it.
Hey, if you want to call it
He came
that.
back more dominant.
But he always did a promo with a blade in his hand, so it was kind of like
he's Samoan.
I understand. I understand that, but at the same time, it's like, what are you gonna kill these guys? I mean,
Yeah.
Is that like you're gonna chop them up after the match?
He's the new Taz.
They
gotta get Scott Steiner. They gotta sign Scott Steiner again, just so he can have
come on.
another feud with Samoa Joe. That was the best feud in TNA history.
I just
The
remember
pinnacle being when, every time Scott Steiner calls him fat.
Why do we bring up Scott Steiner out
I
of all
remember
people?
a couple bad things about Steiner. Just like what you guys are talking about. I remember him trying to pull off the Frankensteiner.
Yeah, right?
I don't remember who it was against. I think it was Angle. It could have been Joe. But it was... Probably wasn't even one of those guys. It was so terrible. It was so slow.
Right. Well,
Is it because he's bulky and big?
I don't even know if it was his fault necessarily.
At one point,
maybe
back in his career, he used to do it perfectly. But now when he got bulky, when he got the muscle now, and he's on steroids and all that kind of crap, he really can't do it anymore.
I really don't know if it was
He's
his
tried
fault.
it a couple times. Once in a while he does it good.
It takes two people to do a wrestling move.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it was necessarily him.
It's all about magic in the ring, as what people like to call it. Also, Hulk Hogan and...
Oh, well, like I said, I thought that the TNA Impact last night was a solid show. The gut check match was alright. I thought it was between Brian Cage and Jay Bradley.
I didn't watch this match. I skipped over it because I ran out of time to watch it, and then this morning tried to watch it to the end quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't figure out. Jay Bradley looked really familiar to me. I haven't looked him up to find out how I know him, if I do.
Right.
But it seemed like they were both good guys going into the match. They had promos, and then the crowd just booed him.
Yeah, he's the one who got booed before the match.
He got booed before he won, still got booed, and then he had this like cocky arrogance look. I'm like, maybe I missed something. Maybe there was something on another episode. Wow, you were a good guy, and now you're a bad guy.
I don't get it. Maybe the crowd just got the cue to boo him or something.
Maybe.
I
The
don't know.
crowd now they're doing like a boo and applause kind of thing now.
Well, I mean the crowd's full of kids and smarks, mostly smarks. So maybe they know something I don't.
Probably. That's most likely the case.
I got outsmarked.
It looks like. Do you want to?
Well, like I was saying, you mentioned. I was saying it was a good show until the ending.
Oh, until the well, wait.
Until the ending.
We'll get to the ending in a second. Jeff Hardy and James Storms versus Bobby Roode and Austin Aries.
They had a really good promo beforehand.
Yeah.
I haven't watched TNA for a while. I've seen Austin Aries before. I've seen all of these competitors before.
Met Austin Aries. Just want to throw that out.
I don't even want to talk about that. We can talk about that another time. But
sorry.
I liked their little back and forth hating each other.
Yeah.
But
it does make sense.
It seems like an all-around good feud between all three of them. Between Jeff Hardy, Austin Aries, and Bobby Roode. It seems like they have a good chemistry going.
Where does James Storm fit in there?
Good question.
Because I think he's feuding with Aries? Or am I wrong?
Well, at the Genesis pay-per-view, he has a match between...
With?
Daniels.
That's right. Daniels did run in, and then him and Kazarian ran in and attacked him.
Okay, so that's understandable for that match.
Yeah, these run-ins and these alleged run-ins I hear...
And it's a match.
From TNA.
I just hope that...
Matches are ending in run-ins all the time. That was the only one.
Right.
Except for the main event, which wasn't really a match, never started, but...
With regard to the title match, though, between Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, and Jeff Hardy, I just want the title off Jeff Hardy.
A lot of people do.
I don't hate the guy. I think, he does some pretty cool stuff in the ring. I just think that both Bobby Roode and Austin Aries were better champions than Jeff Hardy.
Oh, definitely.
They just go out there. They don't need the Enigma thing, the second title belt or anything.
Creatures. Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, but I mean, I liked the other two as champs more than I like Jeff Hardy.
Bobby Roode was a good champion. Even Austin Aries. Even Austin Aries, when he had the belt, I loved it.
Yeah. But then, like I was saying, the ending.
Oh wait, you're still missing stuff. Mr. Anderson versus Kurt Angle.
That didn't even happen.
It didn't even happen. Okay.
Here's what happened. You had the match. That what's his name? Mr. Anderson. Run away. He didn't run away. He just rolled out of the ring. Angle said, "Get your ass back in here."
And then the ref said, "Watch your language."
Yeah, he did, right?
Yes. And then he said it again.
He said it again.
Like, I don't listen to you, referee.
Right? Then he got hit with a hammer from behind by Mike Knox.
Oh, nice.
And then Sting comes out and challenges Mike Knox. They have a match.
Sting versus Mike Knox.
Yeah, Sting wins the match.
Of course.
But now,
or did he win?
Yes, he
Sting
did.
won. Sting won.
Winner.
Yeah. I know he dropped him with the death drop.
But here's what happened. Before that, there was this useless promo where Brooke Hogan comes out.
There was a couple Brooke moments.
There's some brilliant Brooke moments. That's got to be like a weekly segment or something. The brilliant Brooke moment. Where she came out, she asked Hogan, "Are you going to reinstate Bully Ray?" And she made it like this whole dramatic thing, like this is going to...
he's not there. He's not even there.
It seems like he's not there.
All over the phone.
Right. He shouldn't be there because he's not instated or whatever.
If you're not in the company, you're not allowed in the building.
Exactly. Well, that's how normal businesses work, you would think, right? But apparently that's not how wrestling businesses work because they get special seating or they're still backstage somehow or whatever. But she said, "This is going to... Dad, I have a question for you." She's talking to Hulk Hogan. "Are you going to reinstate Bully Ray?" And he says, "That's your question?"
Well, did she say Bully Ray or did she say Mark?
She said Mark. Okay, whatever. Now we're using real names.
Yeah, because
that's how you know it's real.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Hogan says no, And Brooke is supposed to be crying, but she's corpsing. She's like, she's covering her face because she's about to laugh.
She did that so often.
And she did that twice, like 3 times in last night's Impact. And even when she was trying to cry, someone from the crowd, I don't know if you heard it, someone in the crowd yelled, "Come on, Brooke, you can cry." And I thought, oh,
there was a couple times where I didn't know what the crowd was chanting.
Right. No, this was just one person. This wasn't a chant. It was just one person who you could hear just yell that out. I thought it was perfect that you were able to hear that. They didn't edit it out or anything.
I remember someone, I think, yelling out, "Brooke, I love you."
Well, yeah.
That could have
There's always that person in the crowd. But
there's always going to be that one person.
But then she had another great moment at the end of the show. After Sting beats Knox, he's about to hit him with a hammer. And rather than hitting him with the hammer, he could still do it. I'm going to tell you why. Because Devon and Aces and Eights show up in the crowd saying, "Sting, don't do it."
Yeah. They got Brooke.
They have Brooke held hostage. They have her right there. She's trying to get free or whatever. And they're saying, if you do anything, you're not going to be able to recognize Brooke or whatever. We're going to mess her up or something.
Yeah. Next time you see her, you won't be able to recognize her or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said. So they're trying to get Brooke. And then Bully Ray comes running out. And not even from the crowd or anything. He comes in from the entrance, which means he was backstage.
Yeah.
All right? And, they're telling Sting, don't do it or we're going to attack Brooke. But they watch Bully Ray run towards him. He's got a long ways to go.
He's got a long way, and there's like 7 of them.
There's like 7 of them. Oh, but Bully Ray has a chain. He hits someone in the stomach with it. He drops the chain. And there's just he looks at the floor. He has to pick it up, and he goes right back after them. I just thought it was hilarious because he did not play that well at all. And Aces and Eights just kind of sat there, just looked at him, waiting for him to pick the chain up.
Stunned at what he had
done. Yeah, they were stunned that he dropped the chain.
Well, I would have been stunned. I mean, wouldn't you attack Bully Ray? Like, with him dropping the chain, would you be like, wait a minute, I think we should attack him now.
And then by the time he has the chain up, by the time they thought that, they're like, crap, we probably should have attacked him.
This is our opportunity.
Just to make something up as you're like, say if that does happen, like, he does drop the chain, we're just going to stand there for like 10 minutes to like, say if he can't pick up the chain.
Well, what was it? It wasn't too long that he was looking for. He looked down, he looked aside, and then he saw it and he picked it up. But I just thought it was pretty funny because Aces and Eights.
Was he just standing there? The guy just standing there, like?
Yeah, they were still holding Brooke.
You gonna pick up the chain anytime soon?
They couldn't let her go.
No.
Maybe that's it because they were in the front, holding Brooke in the front. If you're in the front of everybody, what are the people behind you going to do?
Yeah.
You're holding somebody, you can't attack him.
Because they started retreating, but then, even though he dropped the chain. So.
The complete strength of 2 men to hold Brooke. So they couldn't do anything. If one let her go, obviously she was out.
Yeah.
She was gone.
But then, it doesn't stop there.
Oh, boy.
It doesn't stop there.
I thought it stopped.
Bully Ray saves Brooke.
Hooray!
And she says that. There's this one part where Brooke mouths, "He saved me."
Aww.
And then Hogan comes out. He has his...
Sting is still there.
Sting is still in the ring, mind you. Hogan comes out. He crosses his arms, and he combs the mustache with his hands. Then we go to commercial break. That's how we go to commercial break. We come back, and Hogan's... He's livid because he's like, so now I'm supposed to thank Bully Ray, right? And Bully Ray's going off on him, saying you're so out of it right now that you're even talking crap to your best friend, which is Sting. And poor Sting is just in the ring.
Yeah, there was no point in Sting being there.
There's you could see on Sting's face. You could see through the face paint. He's like, why am I still in the ring? What am I even doing here?
Yeah.
But you'll see later on what his purpose was, because Bully Ray proposes to Brooke. Well, mind you, while this is all going on. While Bully Ray is talking, Hogan has this face,
which is on the.
This is the reason we have this picture up, because it's
a profile pic.
It's a picture. It's a face that we can't explain. It's just perfect in every way. This is how Hogan should always have his face, just for the rest of his life. And he proposes to Brooke. Brooke says yes. They start making out, and it became apparent to me that the reason Sting was in the ring for that was to have an oh my God face. Like, whoa.
And to hold Hogan back, I think he did at some point.
Yeah, but like even Hogan, like I thought, okay, he's probably gonna attack Bully Ray, but no, he just walked out and he had the face on for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Again, I thought it was a solid addition until
That's
the
a
end.
great face. What he meant. I'm sorry. That's a great face. Hogan should keep that. He really should.
That he does not approve. Anytime something happens that Hogan doesn't like, he
Just put that face up.
that's it.
It's the Hulk Hogan does not approve face. So overall, what'd you guys think of the show?
I thought it was a solid show. I personally, again,
I know it's hard watching it.
No. Here's the
It
thing.
really wasn't even that hard to
It
watch.
wasn't that hard to
But I
watch
DVR'd it. I fast-forwarded through commercials and stuff.
because
It wasn't the full
you
2
grow
hours.
up with the WWE.
Yes.
Okay, everybody
WCW.
And WCW.
and
Don't forget
WCW for that matter. But then again, even there you had fanboys for each company. Well, not really. I mean, even fanboy just seems to be something that spawned out.
Well,
of,
I was a WCW fan before I went to WWE.
okay. Well,
'Cause
either one. You grew up with either one.
Yes.
So it's hard to take a new company seriously. But, TNA did give us a solid show last night. You got to keep an open mind with the storylines. You could laugh at them. I feel like, if you're going to be a wrestling fan, you got to be willing to make fun of things, But overall, it wasn't a disappointing show. It was watchable.
No, I agree.
Cool.
It delivered. It could also be because I've just read horrible things about TNA.
Yeah.
Just how bad their shows
Well,
are.
all they do is bash the company. I mean, there's some TNA fans try to back up their company, saying how WWE is slacking right now, which WWE is not slacking right now.
What I also thought was interesting, and maybe it's not that weird, but you don't see that often, especially in WWE, how they reference nobody. There were quite a bit of moments where they talked about the WWE.
Yes, they did. Mike Knox, I know they brought up Mike Knox at one point where they said, "Oh, he's from the WWE. Oh my God." I feel like he's like they're invading. WWE's
Well, that
like
was
invading.
from what you saw. I mean, from last night, I don't remember specifically what it was, but I remember them saying WWE and referencing a couple times during one segment about WWE as a whole.
It's interesting. Maybe they're finally, I don't know if I know they're allowed to say WWE on,
I mean, why not? Why not?
I don't think it matters.
Company.
The one incident I do remember is after the Montreal Screwjob
Oh,
knockoff.
can we not bring that up?
No, but you have to because that was a moment where Kurt Angle specifically referenced the WWE.
Yes.
He said, and it was completely audible, "I'm going back to the WWE, I don't care." Something along those lines. He said it there, and I just wonder, have they mentioned the WWE by name since then?
They have.
They have?
They did it last night, I remember.
I don't think it's a bad thing to do.
Not, I mean, it
Look,
can't hurt them.
What their logic is you don't want to mention the competition and give them, some type of...
Well, from the WWE standpoint.
Right. Well, from either one.
Right.
But it was also for a while TNA's standpoint as well.
Right.
They would just say that other company or whatever, and they would mock Triple H and Shawn Michaels with the VKM thing. But they never specifically referenced the WWE.
Yeah.
And I feel like TNA at this point just do it. It doesn't matter because at this point if you're a wrestling fan, you're watching TNA, you already have knowledge of the WWE.
Yeah.
It's not like you're mentioning it's Mike Knox from the WWE. There's not going to be anyone who says, "Oh, what's WWE? I'll check that out." Because everyone knows about it already.
Yeah, I mean, like, from TNA's standpoint, you can mention WWE, like you said, it doesn't matter. It's not like they're going to lose viewers or something, or promote a company that's not already beating them in ratings, whereas WWE won't do it, because why advertise for your competition?
Yeah,
I think they should, in a sense, because when they have competition, their product's a lot better, like in the 90s. Right now, they have no
there is no competition right now. But this is where I knock TNA. You gotta take the Montreal Screwjob and turn it into crap.
But it's TNA.
But that's it. But come up with your own material. This is where I bash TNA. Come up with your own stuff. Don't take something that's already happened and you recreate it.
But really, in wrestling, how can't you take something that's been done already?
I think what he means is...
I know, they directly took it.
It was a carbon copy.
Yeah,
Kurt Angle spit on Hulk Hogan, just like Bret Hart spit on Vince McMahon.
And you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to complete the storyline? Is that 12 years from now, we're going to have a Kurt Angle versus Hulk Hogan match. It's going to be terrible.
Bionic Hulk?
It's going to go on way... Yes. It's going to be awful. If they really want to go the extra mile, They have to put that out there. They have to have that match.
That match is never going to happen.
No, it better happen. I want it to happen. I want to see Hulk Hogan at an extremely old age take on Kurt Angle, who at that point will probably be so worn out from all the wrestling in his life. I would love to see that match. Absolutely.
But like I said, it's just disappointing that TNA has to go to that point. And another thing, the last rights match, I thought it was something different. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, what could this be like? Maybe a hearse match, you know? And then there's something in the seal. It comes down. I'm like, it's a casket match.
Yeah, you can't call it a casket.
You can't call it a casket, and you can't call it a coffin match.
You know, it's trademark, but you could, like you said, call it a coffin match.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't think WWE has that.
You can't trademark
coffin.
Trademark
but that's what I would have called it, a coffin match. Don't make it a last rights match or a last whatever you want to call it match. That was stupid. I mean, that's just TNA. And I don't want to be hard on TNA. It's just come up with your own stuff.
Well, the Aces and Eights thing,
I think it's credit for that. Definitely.
The Aces and Eights thing, I thought, maybe it went on a little too...
It's sort of like the NWO.
Kind of, but masked.
Sort of, yeah.
But masked.
Rather than keep... no, you're right, absolutely.
Because we already have 3 wrestlers.
These guys that shouldn't have been able to get into the building, were in the building, at least at the start. How do they keep getting in? Who's the mole? Blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it was really well done. Again, you got to give credit where credit's due. I do like the Aces and Eights thing. Maybe it went a little too long in terms of it took forever to get someone unmasked, but I get it.
About time.
I feel like if you were gonna wait that long, it probably should have been a bigger name. But
I mean, I understand why they did Devon, and remember at that time Devon was
leaving the company.
So everyone thought, okay, he's gone, and all of a sudden it's Devon under the mask. It's like, weren't you supposed to? Weren't you supposed to?
It was a genuine surprise. It was a genuine surprise.
So I thought
the way to drop the ball on that is have it like someone who's been with the company already, like he's not leaving or anything. He's just there, and they just make it random.
Yeah.
But I can see that too.
TNA does factions very well.
They except for the main event Mafia. I thought that was pretty.
I thought that was pathetic.
That was like I don't think you need. They were such big names.
Yeah.
That.
But storyline wise, they have good
Kurt Angle
involved with factions.
Wasn't Kurt Angle?
TNA for the most part, their factions are great. Even oh boy, what was the other one? They had
Fortune.
Yeah, Fortune was pretty good.
What was their counterpart?
Oh, I don't remember their counterpart. Again, if for some reason we have something missing, you could leave a comment and.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Immortal.
Okay, there you go.
It's very hard to remember names when you don't watch necessarily weekly.
But it Main Event Mafia, you did have big names as Kurt Angle, Kevin Nash, Booker T, Scott Steiner.
Yeah, Scott Steiner.
Scott Steiner, he should have been the leader. Scott Steiner should have been the leader of Main Event Mafia.
All right,
I just didn't like the theme music. Oh my god, the Godfather ripoff stuff.
You're right. Obviously, you guys like TNA's show last night. Let's go off TNA for a minute.
Hopefully for the rest of the show. Not necessarily knock TNA. It's just
no. I understand.
I don't watch it all that often.
Also, news happened yesterday that Tyson Kidd is going to be out for
10 to 12 months.
12 to 10 months.
I mean, 10 to 12 months.
Yes, 10 to 12. But now, as I read something else last night, it's now 6.
Okay.
So, is that a loss?
Was he doing anything?
No.
It could be a loss. It could be for NXT.
Yeah, I could. I didn't mean the no as in like
you meant it.
No, like I've just
honestly though
from WWE's
Raw,
logic, they don't care.
Yeah.
They never had him on anyway. And I gotta believe that's why Punk mentioned him in his promo on Monday, because apparently Tyson Kidd got injured at a show and worked the next night.
That's what I read. He got injured and then, even though he was injured, still wrestled the next night. I guess he didn't tell anybody. Like I can't imagine them letting him wrestle the next night. Although maybe it wasn't all that bad, the initial injury, and then just whatever happened, whatever spot, just really
did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't want him being released at the time like he's recuperating from the injury, because they've done that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Whoever gets injured,
it's not fair because he's so talented when he's healthy.
And he is.
Like I said, he's had more than one great spot. Remember, he was in a Money in the Bank match. And,
he was in Survivor Series.
Yeah,
Mentioned
right?
the last time.
CM Punk was completely right. You have a workhorse out there, and he doesn't.
That's what happens.
That's why you get injured. But it's hopefully get well soon, Tyson. It's kind of
He needs the old haircut back though.
The tuft.
He needs that
crown.
He needs that hair in front of his head again, because he can't just be another bald guy in the WWE.
Yeah.
Just get that.
But it was
hairstyle.
just so silly.
It's silly, but it's unique.
I got it for him being the Crown Prince, like when he was Crown Prince of ECW and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you just look at it and you think it's silly, and you might not be able to take him seriously enough in a match.
I could take him seriously in a match.
Well, now.
Well, I had no problem before he had that haircut.
I liked him in matches, but I could see people looking at me like, this guy's a jerk. This guy's stupid. Yeah,
This
Canadian.
guy's stupid.
Canadians.
Leave Tyson Kidd alone.
That's what some people might say. This guy's from Canada,
you're right.
that's what they do over there.
You're right.
What's that, a boot?
I'd like to see him more when he comes back. It'd be nice. Instead of him doing house shows and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Superstars.
Also, main event happened and Superstars last night. And you guys catch it? Main event I know happened with Sheamus and Daniel Bryan.
They had a good match. They had they're putting it on WWE that after the match, it was a really good match. By the way, after the match, Dolph lost. They had this.
Wait, Dolph lost again.
That's not shot.
That's why I say it was a good match, because we all know that Dolph was gonna lose.
He's definitely not. He's gonna lose.
He's gonna lose the money. I'm starting. It's starting to wonder now. Like, how many times can you keep Dolph losing for him to make that monumental win? Like,
I mean, honestly, to me, it doesn't even matter, because he has the Money in the Bank. At any point, he could cash in, and then that's it. You're a main event instantly. So. After the match, there was a stare down between Big E and Sheamus, and then Big E left.
Okay.
A couple seconds, they're looking at each other. He climbs to the apron, stares at him, then leaves, and I think they're going to try to build on that between Sheamus and Big E.
Okay.
Talking about how he's afraid of Sheamus and all that.
Right. I would like to see Big E in more matches.
Yeah.
I do feel like they should get him in a match more. I do think that he is probably going to be in the Royal Rumble. I'm excited. I feel like he's going to get one of those spots where he eliminates a bunch of guys.
He could. I mean, especially with Dolph in there, and there's tag teams or factions in there, they always help each other eliminate a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, NXT finally aired, I mean, if you saw it, Big E winning the title.
Okay.
It was a pretty good match. It was kind of short, though. It was no holds barred. There was a lot of running.
Okay.
The Shield. You think, they're really gonna put a stop to Big E and keep the title on Seth Rollins, but the rest of NXT roster came out, chased them out. I remember talking about how silly I thought Big E's finisher could potentially be, with people just getting out of it. Looks like a reversal. Mm-hmm. That's how he actually won. Seth hit. I don't know how to pronounce it. The Shurian.
I don't. You're asking the wrong man.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called either. So
you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
They had that. Seth hit him with it. Goes for the pin. Kicks out. He, makes the face like, what do I have to do to beat this guy? Goes for it again. Big E reverses it into the big end.
Is that what it's called?
That's the name of it. Or the big ending. And got the 3 count. New champion. Yay.
Yay.
It finally happened. So, I don't know when they're going to be having him in any matches in WWE.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess you probably got to keep him...
I mean, as far as WWE, it seems like it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
From the WWE standpoint.
All right, yeah, I see what you're saying.
What happens on NXT,
they usually don't
matter.
Yeah, they don't acknowledge unless the person comes up, because they did mention NXT Oh, it's Big E from NXT.
Yeah, they mentioned it with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and the rest of the Shield, Dean Ambrose. But aside from mentioning that they were in NXT and that Seth Rollins was champion, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
They didn't mention, I don't think, that he's still champion, because he never brought the belt anyway. That doesn't seem to matter.
Right. Well, until he's in a title match in NXT. Yeah, you're right. I would think that they're going to keep Big E out of any feuds.
Yeah.
Until he drops that title in NXT. Yeah. Until they can pretty much, I guess, promote him to that spot.
And the only problem with him dropping it is that he's that dominant. He's undefeated on NXT.
Okay.
That they drop the title that quickly after he's won it.
Yeah, it would just about illegitimize his big streak there.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
I think I thought of what would be interesting is when they get called up to the main roster. I mean, obviously it can't happen with every single guy, but just have them vacate the title.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like how you can't have the Intercontinental and the main WWE title at the same time, or US and World Heavyweight at the same time. You have to drop one.
You don't see that often anymore.
You have to drop. I think they made it a thing where you couldn't hold both titles. I'm not sure. But they should make that a thing. I mean,
carry that over to NXT?
Yeah.
All right.
If it mattered. It doesn't seem that it does.
Well, it was interesting to see that, because I remember when Big E made his debut, you said it didn't make sense because he just won the title.
At the tapings. I mean,
at the tapings. We saw it this week, but it happened when Big E made his debut, you said. Yeah. All right. I just don't... I don't get that logic either, really.
Obviously, we have SmackDown tonight.
Mm.
You know, everyone knows what happened already.
Mm-hmm. I still haven't seen it. I couldn't find it anywhere. On the interwebs.
You know what I mean. Are you guys going to watch tonight to see how Del Rio won?
I am. I have pretty much anything WWE DVR'd.
Well, I'm watching for the sole reason to see Big E Langston give the big end to Hornswoggle. It's a long time coming. Hornswoggle deserves it.
Oh, definitely.
Especially after what he did to the Cruiserweight title. He deserves to get the big end every night of his career.
What a segue into the Cruiserweight title.
The problem is we both know it doesn't hurt. I'm sure anything can hurt.
He just deserves it.
There's just so little of him. I don't see how much of him is going to actually hit the canvas.
You just throw him. I mean, you just pick him up with one hand.
You're really on top of.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I've seen the move.
Yeah.
It's, but he just deserves it.
It's a very impactful move, nonetheless.
I just want to see what it looks like. I don't care if it hurts for real or not. If it looks like it hurts, it's good enough for me.
All right.
Because that's all that matters, really. And like I pointed out on one of our previous videos. The spoiler read that the guy who saw it thought Hornswoggle had died. So I gotta see this. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm interested as well to see how Hornswoggle actually handled the move.
I'm more interested in that than the Del Rio match with the Big Show. I know what you mean.
I kind of want to get your guys early. You know, we got still 2 weeks away from the Royal Rumble.
No, we should not talk about the Rumble.
I just want.
We should talk about it later.
Okay, later. We'll bring it up later. But I just wanted to bring up a brief.
We should talk about it in 2 weeks.
Okay, we'll talk about it January 21st. Okay.
No, that's too soon before the Rumble.
You are a jerk. Okay.
Yes.
Give me a second.
No. No Rumble.
This is unacceptable.
No Rumble talk.
Okay, I guess there's no Rumble talk because they won't let me bring it up.
There's nothing to bring up.
Well, no, I didn't say anything. I didn't know Rob was so passionate about not talking about the Rumble.
We still have 2 weeks.
No, we have 2 weeks, but
correct,
it's just a quick question I just want to get at. Who's your early pick to win the Royal Rumble?
You already know my pick.
Justin Gabriel's not winning.
Let me down. But now that
it's not
Kid's gone.
No. Justin Gabriel's not gonna win.
He dropped the dead weight of Tyson Kidd, and he can really shine. All right. First time he was in, He was inexperienced. He got eliminated first. It happens.
Yeah.
Second time, he wasn't first. I think, what was he, like, fifth or... It was some odd number, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's
But
not,
he wasn't first this time.
He's not.
He's going all the way.
Winning.
No.
He's
He's got to go through Jinder Mahal.
Ball.
Jinder Mahal is going to make a name for himself this Royal Rumble.
Why
He's
did
gonna
I
come
bring this
out-
up?
He's going to make a name not just for himself, but for the 3MB. That's what's going to happen.
I wonder who's going to eliminate. It's going to be...
And here's what Jinder Mahal's going to do. He's going to be number one. He's going to break Rey Mysterio's record of being there for the longest time. And he's going to break Kane's record of most eliminations in one Royal Rumble.
You know what?
Watch out for Jinder Mahal.
What would be
Jinder
interesting
Mahal.
and would sort of kill time and leave people some bored? Having the first three participants be 3MB.
That'd be kind of funny.
If that happens...
You just have them like air guitaring and stuff.
That's what should happen. Because there's...
Well, remember,
Couple
if you
minutes.
go back to when Too Cool was in the Royal Rumble, they did the dance.
Yeah, but they were much better.
They were much better, though. But it's funny at the same time.
As a group,
How
they were
dare
much
you.
better. Not
How dare you.
individually. Individually,
The 3MB
I'm not
is
saying.
brilliance. They are the future. You guys are telling me you like factions and then you bash the 3MB.
Well, it's a trio.
How dare you?
It's a trio.
It's a trio.
That's all you need. You
A
don't need
trio.
anyone
No,
else.
4 would be a faction.
A trio of...
But B doesn't rhyme with 4. You need to have 3MB.
Wait a
the-
minute.
when TNA
You're
had full-life
saying
crew.
this group has... you think they have a chance? They got squashed by Randy Orton and Sheamus.
And Royal Rumble will be their vengeance. They will shine, and they're gonna gun for Randy Orton and Sheamus.
Out of Orton and Sheamus, who do you think has less of a chance of winning the Rumble?
Orton.
Orton?
I don't know. I would think it would be Sheamus because he already won last year.
True.
And I know they had Steve Austin win back-to-back years and Shawn Michaels win back-to-back years. I don't know if they have enough faith in Sheamus to do that.
Well, we saw that the crowd of Sheamus won.
Yeah, this past...
It was just dead.
And with the most awkward promo that you'll ever see. No reaction. And
But again...
like I said, I just don't think...
What?
I just don't think Sheamus is going to get that same treatment. You know,
I
Stone
think
Cold
you're
was...
right.
Stone Cold was the biggest guy in the company at the time. They gave it to him twice. Shawn Michaels arguably was the best at that time,
Okay.
and he won it twice. Well, Stone Cold won it a third time, but it wasn't like back to back to back.
consecutive,
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
you are right about Sheamus in a way, but I see Orton... I can't see him winning.
Okay.
But at the same time, a lot of Cena winning.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Ziggler, with Rob's idea, combine the WWE and the World Heavyweight and make it one title. Same thing. Can you guys see Cena winning this at the same time?
It's possible. I mean,
Look,
I
I would gauge it on that being the last match, the outcomes of the other matches. The outcome of
So you're saying
Punk and Rock.
So you're saying if Punk and Rock, and Punk wins, does that mean maybe Cena doesn't win the Rumble?
I think I would put more odds on Cena if The Rock won. I don't think The Rock's going to win, but...
Now,
I would
if The
switch
Rock
my
does
vote.
win,
If-
does
I
Cena
would-
win the Rumble?
I would say so.
It's a good guarantee that Cena wins the Rumble. All after if Rock or Punk matters what happens in that match.
but I mean, I gotta.
I'm saying,
it makes
I'm
me
not saying
wonder.
definitely. I'm just saying I could see Cena winning more if Rock has the title.
Okay.
I don't know if Cena's going to win the Rumble. I
don't
don't think
he's
so.
gonna
You
win
know why?
anyway.
You know
He's
why?
already
Is
won.
because if he wins the Rumble,
Right.
then there's no reason for him to be in the Elimination Chamber match.
True.
So I don't think Cena's going to win. What do you do with him if he already has the title shot in an Elimination Chamber? You put him in a match with just some... What, with Ziggler? Have him beat Ziggler
Well,
again,
obviously
or-
they're going to do their stupid matches where the way to win is... How you get into the chamber,
Mhm.
is have a one-on-one match with, say, Cena versus Heath Slater to get into the Elimination Chamber.
match,
You know? But, yeah, that's...
The reason
That's
I
how
brought
I
up
s-
whether you think Sheamus or Orton had less chance is because my idea, 3MB, first three members in there, being silly, air guitars, and then one of those two, Sheamus or Orton, just come in and eliminate all three of them.
That's not going to happen.
So quickly.
That will not happen. 3MB is here to stay.
Will you guys reveal your picks? Your real picks.
Why is Justin Gabriel not a real pick?
Well, be serious here. Like,
why do you think I'm not serious?
Okay, I see you're serious. Who is your actual pick?
I honestly have to wait.
If you guys want to wait,
if I had to pick now, no, I can.
If you want to wait,
it probably
you can wait.
will change if like the storylines progress. But as of right now, like I said, I do think it's in between. I do think it's in between Jinder Mahal and yes, absolutely Tensai. Tensai is another one. Tensai.
A-Train in the house.
Tensai is Japanese.
Tensai.
This is exactly what they brought Tensai back for, to win the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, he really came back to win the Royal Rumble.
2 months later.
He really came back to win the Royal Rumble.
Yes, and to main event WrestleMania. People think they brought Brack. Brack. People think they bought back Brock for the main event. Too many V's. No, they brought back Tensai to be in the main event.
Oh yeah, we'll get into Rumble talk more January 21st, the week of the Royal Rumble. We were talking about how Ziggler, we think that could form a faction with this Big E Langston and AJ Lee. Could it become a faction, Rob? With Ziggler, AJ Lee, and Big E Langston?
With the first face faction of 2013?
Yeah.
I think it's as big as it's gonna get.
Could it be bigger though?
I don't think it'll get bigger. I think it'll implode sooner rather than later.
I mean, we talked about it yesterday. We just wanted to get your say on it.
Well, this is what I was thinking was all of her craziness comes from people using her. Mm-hmm. And I could see this very quickly turning into either Dolph using her or Big E using her to get to the main roster.
That's possible. Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah.
It coming up somehow, which I don't understand how they can continue to make her and Dolph, or just her, heel at that point. Because then it's like, it's yet another person who used her, even if others did or didn't in the past.
It's going to be a running gag.
It will be.
She does nothing but get used
by
the entire roster. And it's funny because AJ Lee, I think, is the only one who can get people caring about the Divas division again. But she's not in any matches.
They won't put her there.
Those matches get no reaction.
But obviously, WrestleMania is in New Jersey. Could you see AJ Lee in a Divas match in New Jersey as WrestleMania?
I think that she could possibly get the biggest pop.
She's going to be in hometown territory. Yeah. I mean,
it's possible. Yeah, and Union City's pretty close to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a big
I don't know if they'll put her. Who knows how the storylines will end up? But
who can you see her facing? That's like the main question.
If they somehow got her a title, regardless of who the champion would be or the type of matchup,
right?
That match, I would say, top 3 biggest of the night at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Just crowd reaction.
I could see that too.
Especially if she wins. Regardless of if she wins or loses,
it's going to be
the crowd will be behind her.
It's going to be weird with the crowd reactions between, like Cena, Rock, Punk, because Punk's obviously a heel. It faces Taker.
Is he though?
No, you're right. Is he though? Taker, most likely going to get a huge pop. Gets a huge pop.
Until I see Taker on Raw, because it'll be on Raw, I don't think he's going to be wrestling at Mania.
I keep hearing he's supposed to show up at the 20th anniversary.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait until Monday to see.
Which I'm pretty psyched for. It is the 20th anniversary of Raw.
But didn't they do something with him after Rumble last year? That's when they started, after the Rumble.
Is that when he showed up and challenged...
Triple H.
No, this year Triple H
challenged
him. No. It was Taker who challenged Triple H.
Yeah, remember he had those promos where he was like cutting his hair and going crazy.
Yeah.
And he wore that wig.
He joined the Aryan Brotherhood.
I thought it was pretty sad he had to revert to a wig that everyone could tell that he wore a wig that night.
It wasn't. No. I think, in all honesty, it's the same thing with Kane. I think, personally, if you didn't know it was a wig, you wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah, because he had the hood on the whole time. It It wasn't just a wig. And
No. When he wore the wig, he was wearing the hat.
He was wearing the hat.
Yeah, well.
He was wearing the hat. And yeah, the hairstyle looked a little different, and people can tell it was a wig because it was all over the internet that he cut his hair.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Kane can't grow out his hair that quickly, and that's what people know it's a wig. But I feel like it gets a bad rap. Like, would we really know it was a wig if we didn't like see it on the internet or just read
Or
all
would we
these
just
things?
think it was a bad hairstyle?
A
bad choice, like when Shawn Michaels came back.
Yeah, that
the
girly
shoulder.
haircut.
Yeah,
That girly haircut.
chopped off. Yeah.
Obviously Taker it could be or it could be not wrestling at WrestleMania 29.
Because it was last year was the end of an era.
No, it was.
It could have been the last chapter.
It was the end of nothing because Triple H will be wrestling Brock Lesnar.
If he wrestles at 29,
you know what?
That's impossible for CM Punk. Is there anyone else you can add to that list?
Wade Barrett. I said
Wade
last
Barrett?
time.
For this year's WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Though I don't know, because Wade Barrett's not even near the main event right
Because
now.
I got 7 worthy opponents here that, I want to know what you guys think right off the bat. 1, The Shield.
As a whole,
versus the Undertaker?
he's done it before. He's had a handicap match before.
He's done it
Yeah.
before?
But no, I don't think so.
But I don't know if... See, that's tough because would that be a burial? Would that be a
He'll
burial
beat
of the
them.
Shield?
He'll beat them.
No, that's what I mean. Undertaker's going to beat the Shield.
Yeah.
But would that be seen as a burial? Like you
See, I don't-
Well, the
establish
smart
Shield.
marks,
I
it would be a
don't-
burial.
I don't like when they do things like that.
Right, because
They have this team dominate absolutely everybody.
Yeah,
and
including Kane, who was a brother of the Undertaker.
But that's a sort of a bad example, I think.
No, but it's... Well,
I like Kane too, but
since the
anybody
WWE doesn't
can
like
beat Kane.
consistency, normal logic would suggest since they're brothers, they're both powerful, but...
On a level playing field with 3-on-3, they still did very well
Yeah.
I would say so.
against
I love the match at TLC.
Right.
Love the match.
Then just to have Undertaker beat them,
That's what I'm asking. It would be.
Yeah.
Would it be
I
a
don't
burial?
see it happening.
And I think it would be because you legitimize these people just to lose to the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
it
all
makes
3 of them.
it sort of it makes them look bad, and it makes everybody they beat up look bad.
Yeah, it does.
Even though they have the whole respect for the Undertaker thing, who wrestles one match a year.
Mm-hmm.
I would not want this match to happen.
That's
No,
why I said
I don't want
yeah.
it either.
100% not. Ryback.
Undertaker, they're both face though.
It could work though. I mean,
it could work if they work with the Nexus storyline. Like I said, they could work with almost anybody.
Right.
With Wade Barrett or
The
Ryback.
problem is that Ryback has nothing to put up against the Streak.
Yeah.
I would think that if you're gonna have
If you want to feed him more competition, that would be the guy to do it. Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I at this point I just feel that if you're gonna have someone face off the Undertaker, it has to be someone who has something that can go up against the
Something
Streak.
to gain and lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say my next choice right here, Brock Lesnar?
No,
I
don't.
I could understand why
Everyone is going back to that UFC fight where he said you wanted to do it.
But that's the only thing.
That's the only thing you can go
use.
off of.
Right. That was like a
And the problem with that is whenever you bring anybody celebrity in, or if they're from another organization, boxing, they win.
Yeah.
The WWE guy always loses.
Yeah, basically. I mean, well, this is that would be a weird one, to be honest.
I think so. It would be weird.
I mean, Brock Lesnar did lose to Cena.
I think the
He
next
might be
one,
willing to lose to the Undertaker, but would he take a couple cheap
Oh,
shots
of course. Yeah, that's true. I mean,
beforehand?
but again, when it goes back to what you said about the thing in the UFC, that was just like a 3-second conversation.
Yeah.
No, it was the
And
three.
I don't think you can make
3
that
seconds.
into-
I think they could edit that
They'll put it in
to make it
slow
a
motion.
really bigger
Yeah,
thing
they'll
than
take
it was.
they'll take that 3-second clip, make it in slow
Remember,
motion.
that's Undertaker out of character though.
And they'll add some type of epic music to it and all that.
All right, another weird one would be.
And then add lightning to the end of the promo.
Beginning,
Thunder,
opening, and
and-
ending with lightning.
pretty much. Yeah.
The other weird one would be The Rock.
The Rock against
There's
the
no
Undertaker.
build up.
No build up at all.
There's no build up or reason.
Yeah.
This is a bad list.
And they were already.
It's a horrible list.
And they were both in the same era already. I mean,
Yeah.
if they didn't handle their business there, I don't see why. All of a
You
sudden.
say
they
that
have
about
an
Triple
issue
H too, though.
now. Yeah, but again, it was kind of random for them to face off too,
Yeah.
especially since they had faced off already.
Yeah.
So.
Obvious, the other one's CM Punk, but we talked about that already. the other match everyone wants to see is Cena Taker.
Why?
Well, who's everyone?
Yeah, who's everyone?
I would say Smart Marks and all of them.
But why? I don't think they want to see Cena do anything.
Yeah, they just want Cena gone.
So
what
what are you talking about? Yeah.
But no, I could see why WWE, because right now Cena's been top
That
guy
is
for
a very easy loss for Cena, though.
It is. Everyone knows Cena's willing to take a loss.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, which is good.
Yeah.
That was his problem. Was he always won for a very long time. Not saying he was undefeated. Obviously, he lost.
It felt like he was undefeated.
Yeah.
You know. But
the Umaga situation.
Yeah. Right. Oh man, that just brings back really bad memories
terrible.
of me rooting against Cena and him coming out after every pay-per-view the winner. But
yeah, I don't.
No, I mean, in terms of sales, you know, you would have it would be the same thing as The Rock last year. It would be the kids and the women going for Cena.
But that's taking that away. You're always gonna have that behind Cena.
Yeah.
But other than that, like storyline wise, I don't see the point
Mm-hmm.
in Cena Undertaker.
Yeah, because it's not like Cena he's never said he's better than the Undertaker, and the Undertaker isn't demanding, say, respect from Cena or anything. I don't see it either.
So definitely not.
Definitely not.
All of these ideas seem.
I'm not saying it's impossible. Like
they can
in
make
a future
anything happen.
In a future installation of WrestleMania, yeah, absolutely that can happen, but not this year.
I was just going by the list that I had in front of me.
Is that the whole list?
Yeah, that's the list. And
list.
It's a horrible list.
The list.
It's a horrible list, and yeah, I mean, it's going by the list I had in front of me. So
Terrible.
those were, I mean,
now I should think up a new list.
Unless you guys have an idea who would you want
None whatsoever
Taker
right now.
to face at 29.
No one that's a main eventer. I can't come up with anybody. I can come up with
3MB.
No.
Well, they would end the streak, so you can't have that
would
happen.
end the streak.
Jinder Mahal would take the Undertaker out.
Yeah.
So you can't have that. That'll upset everyone.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest, guys.
There's a lot of good guys that are on the upper card at most, but I can't see any of them.
But I could
beating
see
Undertaker. There's almost no point in the matchup.
Right. I could see somewhere in the future Wade Barrett.
Yeah.
You know,
if you don't believe they can beat Undertaker, there's no point in having the match. I don't think.
At this point, I don't see anybody beating.
Yeah.
So you could argue that an Undertaker match is pointless because you know who's going to win.
Yeah.
But it's not pointless because it's WrestleMania and it's the Undertaker. You usually need him in there. But again, I don't want to say that's my bathroom break. But everybody knows
they put on good matches.
Yeah.
Well, recently.
Yeah. Recently he has. Yeah. So I think in terms of The Rock's appearance, I know we're going back to this, but I guess I can understand why people would like to see them face off because I don't remember a big rivalry between the two.
Rock and Undertaker?
Yeah.
But that's the point. Is
even in the Attitude Era?
now.
Yeah, there's never been. I don't understand why there would be a rivalry now.
Yeah.
And when there wasn't any rivalry back in the Attitude Era. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not necessarily nothing. I'm sure they had their encounters, but nothing like, just a month-long feud with each other. It wasn't big enough. I just think, you have The Rock pinned to two names right now, in Cena and CM Punk.
Yeah.
And that's what... I still think there's a big possibility for a triple threat match.
Yeah.
Between The Rock...
That wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind that. But I also, I guess, wouldn't mind a Cena Rock. As much as I didn't care about the first one.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see their follow-up match.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see what they worked on.
If it were to happen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be completely against it. Like,
right.
Well, you can only do better than the first one.
And they got to do better promos, too. You can't keep doing the Fruity Pebbles thing or all that stuff. It gets old. It's kind of weird because if you think about Attitude Era promos, it was filled with a lot of catchphrases and it just, that's the bottom line, The Rock says, and all that stuff. And when
Nobody's
The Rock...
got catchphrases anymore?
And when The Rock did that with CM Punk, it didn't really match up well.
Speaking of Stone Cold, I mean, just to throw you... Everyone wants, obviously, Punk versus Austin. Is there any way to get that into next year's WrestleMania?
Of course. Absolutely. You still had... It's between now and WrestleMania. You have plenty of time.
You have plenty of time. I mean, obviously everyone wants to see it. Obviously, it's not going to happen this year.
Is it obvious?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, completely obvious at one point. Unless something miracle happens, like Punk.
Unless Stone Cold runs in at WrestleMania.
Well, no, he can run in at the 20th anniversary. He's supposed to be there.
The Royal Rumble, he can,
So maybe we'll see the first Punk Austin.
I don't think it's gonna happen this year.
I think it could happen at the 20th anniversary.
It would be interesting if Stone Cold's there, says some stuff to Punk.
They could definitely have a confrontation.
That's what I mean.
Because
obviously the Rock did the rock bottom on Punk already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
and Stone Cold does whatever he wants.
Stone Cold, exactly. Mm-hmm. So what does the Rock do on Monday? Do you just talk crap again?
This could be a bad idea, but I could see Stone Cold being there on Raw, saying some crap to Punk. Because he knows that people want to see him in Punk. Everybody knows it. Some back and forth happens. Then at Rumble, he comes in and attacks Punk during the match. Keeps the title on Punk.
Upsets The Rock.
Whatever. But that could set up for Punk and Stone Cold.
For this year. I suppose
that frees up Rock to do
anything he wants.
Something else with John Cena if people want to see that badly for Mania.
Yeah, then what would be the last match then? Would it be Stone Cold Punk or Rock
Ziggler?
That's it. Everyone keeps forgetting. And Del Rio, you have to include Del Rio in there.
Everyone keeps
forgetting. Everyone's a loss.
I'm at a loss for Ziggler's situation and Del Rio's situation, especially now.
Which I think both suck right now. I mean, it sucks what Del Rio's champion. All of a sudden, he's going to lose it in 2 weeks or possibly next month.
Yeah.
He
could lose it at Elimination Chamber.
That's
for title matches.
I mean, at least he holds it for a good month before he drops it to whomever. I'm guessing it could be Randy Orton or Sheamus. Mm-hmm. That's depending on depends on the Rumble. Everything basically depends on the Rumble of what happens further down the road.
We're gonna get a much clearer picture of what's gonna go on. Well, that's generally what the Rumble is.
Yes.
What the Rumble is supposed to do is give you a better idea of what the WrestleMania card is gonna look like.
It is.
It certainly helped with
only 3 months away till WrestleMania.
Yeah. In all honesty, I really can't wait for the Rumble. Rumble is always really exciting. It's definitely one of my favorite pay-per-views. So, with that, we talked a lot about the Royal Rumble. It's obviously a big deal. But then, you always want to think of the future. What does the future hold? And this year was pretty interesting because you did got quite a few call-ups from NXT.
Yes.
All right. As we said before, you have all of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now.
Pretty much.
And then you have Big E Langston, who just appeared from out of nowhere. But it's not from out of nowhere. It's from NXT. So I think that we should definitely let you guys know what's going on with NXT. And that's basically what Rob's here for. Until we get to find access to the NXT matches.
I'll get that to you guys.
Yeah.
Except for, like I said, one match.
And Rob, take it away with NXT.
Well, I alluded to this before about there being another luchador. This is good. I got the spoilers. Unfortunately, if you don't want to hear about them, can we put something up to skip ahead at some
NXT
point?
Spoilers. Yeah.
Where is it? At some point, here it is. We're gonna have a match. I mentioned another luchador to go up against Sin Cara or Rey Mysterio somewhere. We have. I know John loves this guy.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna happen at some point on NXT. El Local is gonna wrestle. He wrestled on Saturday Morning Slam a couple months ago.
Who is he?
Well, I mean, he has a mask on, so you obviously can't tell for sure.
Nobody knows who he is.
Nobody knows who he is.
But I have a feeling he might know Del Rio. I don't know.
You think he knows Del Rio?
He probably knows a lot of Hispanic wrestlers.
It seems like it, yeah.
But
I'm sure he's introduced himself to Del Rio many times.
He could have, yes. He did lose to. It was either Ray or Sin Cara already on Saturday Morning Slam.
Okay.
But he's definitely got the in-ring ability. I'm pretty sure if you put him on a mic somewhere, he'd blow you away too.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
But that was the extent of what I had to say about a luchador.
I figure no, I mean seriously, his mic skills are unbelievable.
He is.
He's got-
I feel like if he wasn't a wrestler, he could very well be an announcer.
Yeah.
He could be a ring
He
announcer.
could definitely ring announce people, yeah. I don't know if do you want to read this fast, like just to
All right, so we had the Wyatt family.
Wyatt.
Whatever.
That's
Wyatt family.
Husky Harris. He's Bray Wyatt in NXT. Brothers with Bo Dallas. Their dad's IRS.
Okay.
These other guys, I'm not super familiar with Eric Rowan,
Okay.
but Luke Harper in the Indies was Brody Lee. A lot of people might know him. I didn't watch a lot of indie stuff.
Right. Well, this is a very good team, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, because they beat a heck of a tag team, which consists of
This hasn't happened
Yoshitatsu.
yet. They actually did beat them on
Percy
this week's edition of NXT.
Okay.
They're gonna beat them again because they're gonna bring up tag team titles for NXT.
Okay. Yeah, that's exciting. That's always exciting. I do feel
Yeah.
like you do want to have more, because like I've been saying, the WWE's tag division is revitalized.
It's a lot better than it was a couple years ago.
Oh,
I think
a
it
few years
still
ago it
has-
was non-existent. A few years ago, the tag team division, their main purpose was to have the Big Show destroy them. I'll never forget it. They had this one segment where a whole bunch of tag teams were just fighting in the ring.
They actually had that last year.
Yeah,
With the Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah.
On one of the Raws, Undertaker came back to make the save on Kane, I think.
Right.
Who was getting attacked by a bunch of tag teams.
But I'm talking, but that's okay because it's Undertaker and Kane.
All right, yeah.
But a few years ago, you had this one moment where you just see everybody. I think it was the Usos. You had
Do they
primetime
count?
players, and
Do they count?
But I'm just trying to say, they're potential tag teams that can make a name for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, Epico and Primo, who were the champions at that point,
Yeah.
and R-Truth and
That's
Kofi,
pretty low point.
R-Truth and Kofi were also in there. They were all fighting each other, and then you have the Big Show come out and just chokeslam everyone. Excuse me, he might have WMD'd somebody as well. But I just thought that was disappointing. For that 1 second, it seemed like it was being revitalized. But WWE can't keep pairing up potential superstars with each other.
I don't like when WWE or any organization really just pairs up two guys.
Right.
I find it a little
So would you say-
annoying when it's just based on race even.
Yeah.
Oh, these two black guys are here. They're not doing anything. Let's put them together. Two Hispanic guys, whatever. Two white guys.
Yeah.
So what?
If they have a similar
would you-
character or gimmick, then it works out for me.
Would you
And I'm
say
happy.
Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston as an air boom?
I didn't like that either.
Yeah.
All they had in common was that they were high flying, I guess, and not really doing anything.
Just anytime you have to make up a new
Same
name
thing
for
with-
them.
Hence the
I think
name
it's
Air Boom.
Air Boom.
with Kofi Kingston and R-Truth.
Yeah. Showmiz.
Show
Jericho. That was just Team Hell No, Rhodes Scholars. It's dumb.
I mean, Team Hell No works because of what the gimmick is between both.
But they had
of
to
them.
they
create
had
a
to create that
storyline
gimmick, too.
Yeah,
just
I
for
know.
them to go together.
I know.
Like
I said last time about Cassius Ohno and Leo Kruger. They just put them together and then worked a storyline around it. I mean, it works. It's a pretty good storyline, I guess.
Yeah.
But aside from that, there's no real point in them being together. I could actually see them feuding against each other
All right.
with how strong both their gimmicks are.
I mean, so would you say that this is a problem with tag team divisions in the WWE? Because
Well, right now they have a pretty good.
no, they do. Like
Bunch.
you got the primetime players, which
Well, they just threw them together too.
but
just
it
will have
works. It works in a
now.
way.
Yeah,
You know
now.
why it works though? Because
It works now for them to be jobbers as a
that's
team.
all they serve right now. But I feel like, look, you already revitalized the division. Now you can have the tag teams you already have,
Right.
and just push them.
Yeah.
But there were so many teams back then.
I think
How
that
come
they're
you can't have
actually-
many? You should have many more now, as you did back then. You had the Hardy Boys, you had the Dudley Boys, you had
All came in as
Edge
tag
and
teams
Christian.
already.
All came in tag team. How come they can't do that? How come they can't?
Well, that's why.
Well, Edge and
that's
Christian
why I
didn't come in
started.
as a tag team.
That's why I started mentioning this during NXT
Well, they came in as
because
the
I like that they brought.
Well, no, they sort of had a feud against one another at first, and then they quickly formed into the Brood.
Okay.
Because I like the reason I led into that from NXT was because I like that they brought in the tag title tournament.
Yeah.
And I feel like that can potentially show them, tag matches are supposed to be more exciting than singles matches.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be because there's more in there.
Yeah, there's
And
a lot
just-
more potential for a win or
I
a loss.
love
or
tag
come out.
matches.
I love tags.
So does Teddy Long. But it's just not, they haven't been taking full advantage of it. And just throwing them together because 4 guys happen to disagree in the ring
Yeah.
is not
They
going to cut
sort of did that on NXT, actually, also. They have
Was that
McGillicuddy and Bo Dallas.
Was that a jab at Teddy Long?
No, it's... hey, look, he likes his tag matches. There's nothing wrong.
Hey, it works out. You need to
Yeah,
throw
no,
a
it
bunch of
works
main
out.
eventers together. How do you do it?
There's your main event.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Or
Yeah.
his one-on-one matches.
Oh, with the Undertaker! Or according to that diagram, the official Teddy Long diagram, if the Undertaker's on leave, it's one-on-one with Randy Orton! Or Sheamus nowadays sometimes.
Just go down the list.
He's got a list. Undertaker's not there, so it is Randy Orton these days.
It is Randy Orton these days. Or Sheamus. Or, and like I said, a tag team match, which I give Teddy Long credit. He comes up with some decent tag matches.
Right, but I feel like if you have legitimate tag teams already, it'll make Teddy Long's job a lot easier in that he doesn't have to make these matches.
It would be nice.
But it depends. He won't just throw anybody into a match necessarily.
They have to be a disagreeing about something.
Yes.
It has, and they have to be in the ring.
If you already have a jobber team, it doesn't even matter. They're not on the card.
Yeah. Teddy Long wants his main eventers
Yes.
in tag matches.
It's a pretty good way to book stuff.
It is. It is. Just like Sheamus and Orton versus...
Yeah.
Who did they face on SmackDown?
It was Big Show and Cesaro.
Boom.
Okay.
Boom. As he loves tag matches, so put your 2 faces against the top 2 heels right now,
And did you watch that?
and you get a tag match.
I don't know what happened because I watched it. At some point, Big Show was just gone.
Oh, he did that thing again where he just...
Disappears.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul Heyman did that on Raw, but...
That's Paul Heyman, I mean...
Yeah, he wasn't necessary to that, what was going to happen, but Big Show was in the match, and at some point he just disappeared.
He just left.
Cesaro lost, but he just disappeared.
Maybe he just left. Maybe he didn't want to be there anymore.
But the problem with tag team division, at least for NXT, is, or I guess in the WWE, because they're going to have more tag teams. They should have even more, I think. Even if there's jobbers, mid-carders, whatever.
I mean, there's no excuse because you can't say that you don't have time for them because now you have a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
All right?
I mean, hell, the Divas got time.
Well, yeah, I mean, not
But
much.
they only had one segment.
But
They had one segment.
But a 10-minute match. Close to it on Raw.
With the
Caitlyn versus
count-out
Eve.
win?
Well, yeah, that was close to...
Really?
yeah, and then they didn't even have an ending to it. Eve
No,
just
it was
left.
yeah, she just left, which was stupid.
What
but
I noticed, though, on the WWE, and we're all over the place again, it seems to be a thing that happens. What happened to breaking the 10 count for ring outs when you leave the ring?
You noticed that,
If
right?
2 people leave, they start the 10 count, one goes in,
They break it.
goes
yeah.
back into the ring and leaves.
And then the ref
you
gets
restart.
and the ref always goes, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah,
you broke the 10
but
count.
now it doesn't seem to matter. They just keep the 10 count going.
Well, because Caitlyn went back in the ring.
That's how Sheamus beat Dolph Ziggler on main event, by count out.
Is that how? Okay.
He beat him by count out,
But
even though
once-
he left the ring after the count started. Ref didn't restart the count.
But in a way that Caitlyn, like, she went back in the ring, she could have gone back out.
Yeah, and
And
restarted the count. In fact, there was a point before she got Eve back in the ring that she went in, I believe, and left,
It's
and
a
the
plot
count
device.
kept going.
It's just to serve a plot.
They make up new rules
You
just
make
to
up
serve
a
the
new rule.
storyline.
Yeah, it's just like
They need some
So
consistency.
don't have it in the game.
it's
then,
like a few months ago you had a tag match where Big Show came in, attacked John Cena. He was the tag team partner, but he wasn't the official guy.
Yeah.
I think all he did was hit Cena, and it was a disqualification.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be.
Right, but
in
they
the
but
rules,
they even they have
but
a
they never do it.
yeah they never do it.
Yeah.
It's just to serve some sort of plot, some sort of storyline, keep it moving along. I mean, they're not just gonna drag on the Caitlyn Eve thing.
They shouldn't. But the problem that I was gonna say with this, at first I was really excited because I like tag teams. I felt they needed more than just the one belt. They have a lot of, pretty good sized roster for NXT, even those who haven't been on yet. They're gonna bring these guys up, I assume, to the main roster.
Eventually.
And if you're a
I
champion,
hope so, yeah.
there's a reason you're champion, and you're gonna get called up pretty soon. Potentially.
I mean, when do you figure that's
They're
why
going to
they
do the same thing that they did with Seth Rollins and
Yeah,
Big
that's what I was
E,
just
give them
gonna
the
say.
titles, and then they're going to leave the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to see them do. Like I said, I love tag team matches. I love the tag division. I like to see WWE do more with the tag division.
Yeah.
You know, it'd just be nice. You know, like I said, take names from NXT and bring them up. You never know. You know, anything could click with two guys. You know,
have two guys that can complement each other. You know,
I know it'd be nice. Everyone wants to see Cassisono and Antonio Cesaro.
I don't want to see it just because of their roles, their characters in the WWE
and completely different.
Are different than in the Indies, and Cesaro's doing well enough by himself.
I agree.
I mean, maybe if they were both brought in, different shows, at some point forming them together. Like, if they don't see them being main eventers, you're not going to be a main eventer. Evan Bourne, it's not going to happen.
Definitely not. Kofi Kingston?
You get at some point, like Kane. He's been main event, he's been mid-card.
Well,
relatively low-card, main event again.
Well, what about Kofi? If you want to throw.
I think that he should have been main event years ago.
He's everywhere but the main event.
Yeah.
He's
all over the place.
Yeah.
He's a really strong mid-upper carder. But I think that
even now,
main event against
even when they stopped with R-Truth and Kofi Kingston, I felt like, okay, now Kofi's finally back in singles competition. This is good. Then they gave him the belt, and I said, oh, okay, so he'll be in the mid card for a little longer, but he'll get in there.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, and then now he's jobbing again. He
wasn't necessarily jobbing.
Well, he lost to Wade Barrett. I don't know. I don't even think he got a rematch.
He did. He got the rematch and he lost.
All right, and he just lost to Big Show in a few seconds.
It was Big Show,
but it's a job. It's a job, and he didn't even put up a good match. He
didn't. There wasn't even a match. But
it was funny because the referee was like holding him back, and Big Show just reached
over
over the ref.
What is even the point of that?
I don't know.
You're the ref. You're looking at Big Show. He's the champion at the time. You're gonna
hold back
anything
the other guy?
to Big Show?
I don't know.
You're gonna stay out of his way, like the Undertaker. Right? Does the
get
out of here to the ref, and the ref just jumps out of the ring.
Do you ever see him getting the championship at any point?
Kofi? No.
I think don't see it either.
I don't
I just could see him winning Money in the Bank and him the first one to lose.
There's already been the first person to lose with John
Cena.
No. See, that's what upsets me about the WWE also. Cena did not lose that match.
Yes, he did.
No, someone interfered and attacked John Cena.
But technically, he lost.
No, how does that lose?
Right? You're
That's
saying
a win.
Won?
No, he won.
If you get attacked,
he unsuccessfully cashed in the Money in the Bank.
You're the winner via disqualification.
Mm-hmm.
Punk and everyone else says, he was the first to cash in the Money in the Bank and lose. No.
So what you're saying is Jericho can still come back
and be the first to lose.
All right, I'm all right.
He didn't officially lose. The WWE doesn't seem to understand how their own results play out.
Yeah.
They don't get. It's like when Umaga was undefeated.
Yes, destroying everybody.
He faced Cena, right? And then somebody attacked Cena during that, and they still kept calling him the undefeated Samoan. No, he's not. He lost via disqualification.
Or he was the big monster, and then goes up against Cena, lost, and then couldn't bring it back.
So you could say John Cena was the first one to cash in the Money in the Bank and failed to capture the title because he didn't. But you can't say he was the first to lose, because the first to lose would be you cash it in and you lose.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big thing. I still have yet to see that.
Yeah, you're right.
Jericho lost in just about every way possible in his last return, except not winning the Money.
Honestly, to me, what would have been better if he just lost every single match when he came back.
That would have been funny. Yeah.
Like, I feel bad for Kofi. That's who he beats every time.
It's always Kofi.
He always
taps out. He's the only one to tap out ever to the walls of Jericho.
Because he puts the Lion's Hammer only on Kofi. You put the walls of Jericho on somebody, no one's tapping out. You put the Lion's Hammer on them,
maybe they might.
Tap out.
Yeah.
I think no one understood why he had that. I guess he came back to all the video promos up to it. And we got this.
The end of the world as you know it or something?
Yeah, the end of the world as you know it. And what did we get out of it? Nothing. You know, you had all this talk about, maybe Stephanie's coming back with him.
Who's the boy and who's the girl?
Yeah, who's the boy, who's the girl?
It's nobody. It was stupid. It was a stupid promo.
Yeah, that's what he said that too, right? He admitted that the promo was just whatever. Didn't mean anything.
I mean, some way to come back.
But like, if his thing, he came back, whatever, and lost, only beat 2 people as far as I remember. 2 matches.
Kofi and Ziggler.
Dolph, yeah.
And then he lost right
next
away
day.
after Ziggler.
He should have, even though I love
And I think
Jericho,
it was a fair match, too.
All the matches were really good. He should have just lost all of them.
Might as well have.
That would have been really funny.
It would have. I do remember. I didn't get... Because I'm a big Jericho fan, too. I don't like when he loses that often.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was just immune to it because that's all he did when he came back. I mean, he would pull out these promos about how he's guaranteeing wins, and then he'd lose in the most spectacular way. He'd just lose at WrestleMania. He tapped out.
But it was still a good match.
It was still a very good match. Then he had a... Did he have a rematch against Punk? I think he did, right?
Yeah. They had a feud.
They had a feud.
Feuded.
It was alright. It was an okay feud.
Best in the world versus best in the world.
Yeah.
Best in the world at what he does or something like that, right? That was Jericho's...
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Very specific.
But
I think Jericho should have came
He is the
back...
man of 1,004 holds, so you got to give the man where credit's due.
He should have came back with pants.
Yeah, that's...
I don't understand why...
his trunks aren't working for him.
We don't like the trunks. I want to get into next week's show real quick. We are gonna be... We have a couple ideas that we're gonna bring in, and I guess Monday we were gonna talk about the best and worst wrestlers, Diva current.
Well, we don't need to tell them about it right now.
No, we don't have to talk about it, but it's just an idea.
It's probably just... Maybe we should stop talking about spoilers or... Because if you're going to do the show every day, then this isn't something that we should be talking about while recording. But, run out of ideas pretty quickly.
But yeah, I think we should do that Monday.
We should probably edit that out. I'm going to say that right now. We need an editor in here.
Yeah, we do.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say all that
Mr.
out.
Editor Anthony. I think that's pretty much is gonna wrap this show up for today. Obviously we have SmackDown tonight. Obviously we know what happens, and we have the 20th anniversary preview show that we're gonna do Monday.
I'm probably not gonna be here for that.
That's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fine. We will have that covered. As for tune in Monday, and we'll have a new segment. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So I'm John.
This is Ant.
And I'm Robert! Yay!
Later, guys.
Bye.